This is the elderly and pissed wrestling fan himself, Alex. Welcome to Rope Break, or wrestling podcast. Yesterday, this is being filmed the day after, but yesterday was AEW Blood and Guts. An AEW Blood and Guts War Game style match they had. It was a three-match card and an angle, two Blood and Gut matches, a female's Blood and Guts match for the first time ever, a Hangman Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs, no DQ street fight type match. The angle was FTR bullying Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It was supposed to be Ric Flair too. Well wishes to Ric Flair. I hope he gets better soon. And they got interrupted. We'll get there, but the main event, Blood and Guts, the men's Blood and Guts match. First of all, the first ever female Blood and Guts match was special. It was something to talk about. The match started. Let's go over the teams first. The first match, the first team was the heel team of Tekla, the Toxic Spider, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, which shout out to Sky Blue. That girl bled like a stuffed pig. Megan Bain and Marina Shafir with the one and only Mercedes Monet. And their team, the team against them was, we had Chris Statlander, the AEW Women's Champion, Timeless Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa. I'm blanking out, but we had, what was in that match? Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron was there. Shout out to Harley Cameron. She did her thing for sure. And there was, who was the final person? Princess Amanada was supposed to be in the match, but she was not there due to injury. But we did have blanking. I'm elderly, motherfuckers. Goddamn. I know her name. I know her name. My name is there. It's on the cusp. I can't get it. I will remember it eventually. But let's just talk about the match. The match itself, Jamie Hayter. There we go. Jamie Hayter. I want to say shout out to Harley Cameron and Sky Blue. They did the best. The match was hardcore. I have my own feelings about any war game style match, whether it's Blood and Guts or WWE's version of war games. I think they both are very, I've seen better. I don't like the interpretations. But in this one, in this version, there is blood. It definitely wasn't for the kids. It wasn't for the children. There were tables, there were mirrors, there were broken glass. It was a bed of nails. It was everything. The women went hardcore. Now, was it indie-rific? It's a heat with no rules. Of course, it was indie-rific. But Mina Sirikawa she with the reason that the baby face is lost because Tony couldn't see her wife. This is Tony's words. Her wife get beat up in the mother's milk. But some of the spots in the match, the highlights, there was a mirror spot with Tony Storm when the mirror got thrown into her face, and she didn't really bleed with her Joker makeup on. Broken Timeless Tony Storm. I don't know, but that was a cool spot. The glass spot with Tony Storm where she broke Mercedes wine bottle and started and taped her fist up and started throwing hands at people. It was definitely something to remember. But she also did the a similar spot with Mariah May, so it wasn't really like this is brand new. It wasn't like that, but it was a good match. It was a good spot and everything. Mercedes Monet gave everyone one of her belts and beat everyone up, with the belt. The ladies that started the match, like I said, Harley Cameron and Sky Blue, they really did their thing. There was a spot where through the table, where they fell through the table. That was hardcore. But overall, I don't think it wasn't the best match in the world. I felt like a lot of the spots didn't mean anything. They were just spots in the match. I actually thought the mirror spot should have been it and everything. But I am glad that they're highlighting Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir and Megan Bain, I think, are stars. I think Megan Bain will end up being their version of Rhea Ripley. She has the look, she has the ability. I don't think she has the character right now that connects with the fans that transcends the business. I because that's if we want to talk about it, Rhea transcends professional wrestling, but she does have all the potential. She has the look. Big, powerful, beautiful woman. She will be something special. But overall, I think I give the match 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not a big fan of either version. So if I know people are gonna say you're an AEW hater, you don't like it. That's not the case. I love wrestling. I love some of the stuff that AEW does, but I don't like war game style matches on either one of them. Enjoy war games, the match beyond, and neither WWE or AEW, to me, uh, really captures what war games was. And yes, I understand that professional wrestling has changed, but I'm a Southern guy, and war games is a Southern thing. And the next thing on the show, the next match was Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Standard no rules match. Hobbs tore off the turnbuckle. Hangman struggled to turn off the turnbuckle. You saw him. He couldn't get it off. But he got it off eventually. They had the match. They wrestled everywhere. They wrestled all over the place. Hangman won. 2-star match. Wasn't nothing. It was just to carry on. There was Afterbirth, obviously, with Hook, Eddie Kingston, and Hangman, running in with saving Hangman from Shibata and Samoa Joe. There was really nothing crazy special there. They had the little thing. Joe said, "Bring down the cage." The cage came down. Joe ran off as soon as Hook and Eddie Kingston came in. He got called a dumbass and then challenged to the cage match by Hangman Adam Page. So their match will be a cage match at Full Gear. Then we had the oddest thing on the show. I hear Ric Flair was actually supposed to be part of this segment as well, but we had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat come out. Him and Tony Schiavone uh, were just kind of just reminiscing about the the old days of professional wrestling, and it was okay. To me, it fell flat because I think a lot of those people, and especially a lot of the AEW fans, they're not old enough to know who Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is. I don't think they watch old anything. They don't know that he even had history with Flair. I don't think that's known by most of the fans within the fan base of AEW. By some, yes, and definitely, I don't think a lot of them know or even alive when any of this stuff was going on. It was the early '80s, mid '80s. Ricky Steamboat's peak in wrestling was WrestleMania with Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3, and the other stuff, best matches were probably with Flair, and it was some of the greatest stuff that he did. And I don't think a lot of people even know who Flair is if it wasn't for the WWE and his later run with Evolution and all the other stuff that happened after the collapse of WCW. But they had him out there, him and Tony Schiavone. They had their little, he's here, reminisce, talk about the old times. And then, of course, the top guys came out, Stokely and FTR. They ran them down. They got physical. Bandino came out. That was it. Flat. Like I said, flat. The people didn't know who Ricky was. He's not Sting. I think Sting made a lot of people go back and watch his matches. Because I think, yes, the key demo of AEW, but I honestly think the key demo of AEW are people like that are in their 20s and then like early 30s, early to mid 30s. I think 40s, 50s, my generation of people, they're not the guys there. They're not. I don't feel. I'll get to that in the end, but I just don't think there was the people that were there. Then we get to the main event of the evening. Men's blood and guts match. The Death Riders. John Moxley, Mox, Rila Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac versus, and Daniel Garcia versus Kyle O'Reilly, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and Mark Briscoe. After the women's match, there was really not too many things you could do. The babyface team won. There was spots wise, it wasn't nowhere near as many crazy spots as it was in the women's match. There was a Jay Driller on the top of the cage to Yuta. I think it was Yuta. It was Yuta. And that was the biggest spot. Other than the spot I want to talk about, there was a flaming table because Gabe Kidd came out, set two tables on fire, had Pac climb to the top of the entrance ramp, and then press slam Darby Allin through two flaming tables. But that was not the finish of the freaking match. The finish of the match was a ankle lock. And Jon Moxley tapped out because they're telling the story that Jon Moxley can't be put in the submission hold because he will tap out to Kyle O'Reilly and he will tap out from the Scorpion Death Drop when it comes to Darby Allin. I have a problem with that. How are you gonna have a crazy spot like that and not be the finish? You know, if the match would have I surrender when they would have just lighter fluid, if Darby would have put lighter fluid on Jon Moxley and then Jon Moxley gave up because he was afraid, that would have made a little bit more sense than the fact that, hey, Darby Allin got put through a flaming table. That's the highlight of the entire match. The entire match's highlight was that Darby Allin got press slammed through a flaming table. And that's not the finish. That's not the finish. Ankle lock is the finish. And that's okay. No, it's not okay. Everybody's talking about the women's blood and guts match. Everybody's talking about the press slam through the flaming tables to the man that wasn't even conscious for the finish. He won the match. He was part of the winning team. You tell me how this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. And this also leads to my problem with AEW. Stop trying to be Georgia Championship Wrestling. Stop trying to be Mid-South. Stop trying to be Jim Crockett Promotions. Stop it. Be yourself. NWA still exists. WWE owns all that stuff. Please stop. If you want to lead into the indies, if you want to lean into the indies, lean into it. Say that's it. The indies doesn't have makeup matches of other stuff. They don't do that. That's not what they do. But what they do is they have good quality athletic matches. AEW, that's what you guys do. You guys do it the best. Stop emulating old stuff. Stop this national championship stuff. Stop it. When it still exists. It exists twice. When you come to the point that the U.S. Championship still exists because the National Championship got fused and unified to the U.S. Championship. And then you have a National Championship because NWA still exists. Mike Mondo has the freaking championship. Mikey of the freaking Spirit Squad, who's jacked. The man is jacked more than anything. But you want to sit here and you want to keep on trying to relive this stuff because it was on TBS. And because TBS only had WCW and all these other things, these Southern promotions, these people don't care. The people don't care. I love the Southern promotion. Leave it where it was. It's gone. It's gone. Please leave War Games where it's gone. Leave Blood and Guts alone. Leave all this stuff alone. Blood and Guts is probably going to be the more extreme version of whatever WWE is going to do in War Games in a few weeks. But I'm going to tell you right now, stop. Get your own identity. Stop trying to act like Cody Rhodes or Dustin Rhodes or Dusty Rhodes is booking this stuff because they shouldn't be if they are. I know Cody isn't. I don't think Dustin's booking with his two broken legs. And God rest a dream soul, he's not booking this stuff either. But what you do need to do is come up with your own identity. Embrace it. Embrace the indies. Embrace professional wrestling. Embrace the fact that you think that you are where the best wrestle. But stop it. Stop going into this stuff where you want to bring from the past. Like everything died. Like you're trying to be WCW. You diss the people that came that made WCW. You talk cash shit about Eric Bischoff, he does to you too. But why? You tried to get Jim Cornette in there. Jim Cornette's like, I don't want to mess with this. He didn't want to do it. You want to get all these Southern icons, the people that made Georgia Championship Wrestling and WCW and NWA and all this stuff special. But you don't need to, because you're losing what makes AEW special. Please stop. At the end of the day, that match, 2 stars. Please stop it. Whole show, 2.5 stars. Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Harley Cameron, Mercedes, Tony Storm, Mina, you women, hats off to you. I know you're probably going to do far more extreme stuff than what we're going to see in the Women's War Games match. But at the end of the day, I'm Alex. You don't have to tap out. You can always make it to the ropes for a rope break.